Hello everybody and welcome to my comic review. I am Rainbow Red Panda and today I will be reviewing the comic Chin Music, which came out yesterday on New Comic Book Day. It is written by Steve Niles, and instantly that excited me because Steve Niles is like one of the masters of horror books. Like, he's done 30 Days of Night, he did Dark Days sequel, he's done so many things, he won so many awesome awards. Like, pretty much people will buy this just because his name is on it. I bought it because I liked the title, and I liked that his name was on it, and I was really curious about it. So I got it, and I read it yesterday. I read it last night, and it's interesting. It's not my favorite, and it's not something that I would expect from him. Like, if you handed me this and didn't tell me like who wrote it or anything, I wouldn't be like, that's Steve Niles' book, because I don't get that here. But it is just the first issue. It's not super long, and it's not super detailed in what the content is. There's not a lot of dialogue. It kind of relies on the pictures to tell most of the story. And I like that in some comics, but in this one, for the first issue, I feel like that shouldn't be what's going on. However, I don't know. It takes place in Chicago in the Prohibition era. It has like mobsters and police, and then all of a sudden it kind of like jumps back. I don't know if it's not too far in the future because I believe the same characters are in it, but it jumps to like Egypt or somewhere where they have like the pyramids and things. And it kind of, I'm guessing that's like a backstory type thing. There's a policeman named Ness who, I believe he's in the Chicago, he's not really shown specifically in the Chicago part of the story so far, but I'm guessing that he's going to make an appearance later on in other issues. He goes to Egypt for whatever reason. He's a police officer. There is like this supernatural, like, fortune teller type gypsy-ish person, I'm going to say. And he has the power, I don't know all of his powers, but he does at least have the power of like flight. And in trying to escape from one of his enemies, he tries to take flight. His enemy stops him from doing that, basically strips him to his bones, because that way he doesn't have his powers anymore. So Ness comes upon this like corpsey, bony body, and like, the body is talking in gibberish, like, you can't understand it. Ness is very confused. The man ends up grabbing onto Ness's arm, and it leaves an imprint of something. So you're supposed to assume that whatever powers this corpse had have now been transferred to Ness. It doesn't really show if he knows about this powers or whatnot, but from there, it kind of just goes on. It shows that Ness is kind of a threat to the other people at the police. I don't know, I'm guessing he's not well liked. And then from there, it just kind of goes back to Chicago to like a mob boss saying that like they need to take someone out immediately. And then it ends kind of in a little cliffhanger. And it just kind of leaves you to your imagination. The artwork, I really like the artwork in it. I don't know, it's like a lot of like black and white, but it has like subtle hints of like yellow and orange and just little things like that. But I mean, as you can tell, like there's not a lot of dialogue. Like, this whole page just has like the little like sound effect words. There's not a lot of dialogue in the whole thing at all. Like, this page doesn't have any dialogue. It's really like a picture type thing, and especially in the scenes with the body and being stripped of its skin and whatnot, it kind of gets a little confusing as to what you're looking at. Like here, I like the artwork, but leaving the artwork to tell this story isn't exactly what I would have expected. I expected more dialogue, but I mean, it's subtle. There's never more than like, I think this probably has the most dialogue in the whole thing. There's a lot of words on this page, and that's the most of it. Most of it doesn't have a lot of it. You have the mob boss with his like roses and like standard. This was in Chicago during like the Prohibition era, so it's kind of like Godfather-ish, you know? So, and then it just kind of ends. There are a lot of pages, like, there's like 5 pages of just ads at the end, which is cool. I like to know, you know, what comic books are coming out, what trades are coming out, but I feel like if you have that many filler pages that you have to fill, that you should, you know, make it a little bit longer or something like that. Like, stretch it out a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting, you know? But we'll see. It wasn't exactly what I expected from Steve Niles, but I will get the second issue. I will probably definitely continue to read it. I have high hopes for it. It didn't deliver in the first issue what I wanted it to, but I think it will continue to improve. Once the story kind of gets established, this technique won't be an issue in the further ones, and I'm guessing he'll continue to use it because he kind of likes to use that technique. It's just not something that you usually see in the first issue of a comic, especially whenever it's not like a continuation or something. Like, you have no idea what to expect from this. So we'll see what happens, but I really enjoy it, sort of. It's not horrible. It's not as confusing as the Morning Glories review that I did, where I didn't really understand like anything that was going on in this. Like, you understand what's going on, it's just seeing how it all fits together. I mean, the thing starts out with a man carving like intricate symbols into a bullet. So you're not really sure how that fits in either. I have theories, but I don't want to like ruin the entire comic and give everything away. So it kind of has like three little parts, and I think I know how like the first one and the last one fit together. It's just the middle part with Ness and the like skeleton creature that I'm not sure about, whether he knows who this, that he's has some sort of powers now, and how he gets to be in Chicago. I don't see this thing being like Chicago and Egypt. Like, I don't see them continuing. Eventually they have to merge, because I don't know that Chicago and Egypt really have anything in common, especially in like the Prohibition era. So we'll see how they do that. But it's an interesting read. I would, if you just, want something to read, I would go out and buy it or do it digitally, but it's not like a must-have at this moment. But I see it getting more interesting, so I would still go out and get it, just because that way whenever it does kind of get better, you have, what it started with. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. If you don't like it, then that's fine. And if you've read it, let me know what you thought. And a lot of people were excited for this, so I'm still excited for it. Like, I can't wait for the second issue, because I mean, it did kind of end on a cliffhanger, and I'm pretty sure that I know like what goes on, but you could be wrong. It could be something completely different. It is the first issue. It's not like they've introduced all of the characters that are involved and whatnot. So I could be completely wrong, but I have theories. So if you guys have your own theories, or you just have a random comment, feel free to leave it in the comment section. If you liked this review, make sure to rate it thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will have links for my Twitter and Facebook page, and I will also put a link on there for the Chin Music page on Image, so it will be on there. And feel free to check out. Image has a lot of really solid comics. I really like the majority of Image's work, so this wouldn't be something that I would expect from Image necessarily, but they put it out, so Robert Kirkman must have had some sort of faith in it. So that must mean that it gets interesting, right? I don't know, that's what I think. So that's all I have for today. I will see you next time with my next comic review. Bye!